Okay, this little section is about how to set up the network for the computers, because you're going to have multiple computers to log people on, register people and check them out at the auction. So this is basically how to set it all up, because there's quite a few steps. So the first thing is the hardware. What we've got here is 2 laptops running Windows 7 or later, plus you'll find in the Magic MCOW box router. This is the one that we're using, a Belkin router. There is another one in there. So you just plug it in at the back, and then you use the network cables and plug it into the grey slots, not the yellow one. So I've just got 2 computers here, but it works for 4 as well. So plug 1, plug 2. Doesn't really matter which slot you plug it into, as long as you don't plug it into the yellow one. Then plug them into the computer as well. So I've already got one plugged in over there, and the other one's just going to go in the back here. So now we have a network. There's no password or anything. We're not using the wireless. It's just hardwired between these 2 computers. So before we can actually get them doing anything, we have to make the file, the actual database of all the auction items, we have to make it available so that the other computers on the network can see it. So what we do here is just come down on this version of Windows to kind of Explorer, Windows Explorer, open it up. I'm going to the C drive on the computer. And this computer here, this is the host computer. This is the one where everything is going to be stored or is stored. And I'm looking inside the C directory, and I'm looking for the auction folder, which is just here. With the auction folder, what we're going to do is we're going to do a right click on it, and you'll notice in the sub menu here that comes up, it says share with. So we're going to go share with, and I'm just going to choose specific people, and there's lots of different ways to do this, but this way works, so it's certainly one option. So specific people. Now you'll notice on the one that's here, it's already set up. System is the owner, then we've got the owner of this computer, everybody, and there's one here called auction user. Well, the first thing to do is, if you do have some already set up on yours, you'll probably have system, and you'll probably have whoever's computer this is, they'll probably already be set up, but we're going to add some more. So everyone, you can choose from this menu up here. So you can choose everyone, and they're already there. I'm just going to add them again. And what I am going to change, notice here, this is really important, that you change the permission level from read to read write. So anyone now can access this file on this computer, anybody else who's on the network. The other thing we do is we create a brand new user. We just called it auction user, and this is what all of the other computers on the network are going to use to access the database. So we just created one by going up here, auction user, adding it, and making sure that it's got a read-write permission. If it didn't have, again, you can just click on it here to choose and make sure that it's got read-write. On the other computers, the ones that are going to connect to the host computer, we actually have to do a couple of little tricks. The first thing we have to do is map a network drive from this computer to that computer, so that it looks like they're all in the same one. So the way you do this is you go to, again, on my non-host computer, I go to Windows Explorer, and you can see it's kind of pretty standard here. I'm just going to this PC, and somewhere in there you'll find something like map network drive. You just click on it, and an option here to map a network drive. You can choose a letter. Don't use C, because C is probably already used, or D. Use something towards the end of the alphabet. I'm going to use Y. It's as good as any. And then what I'm going to do is down here have both of these options selected. And you can do 2 things. You can either look at the host computer to get the actual name of the computer and also the file name, or you may even be able to go over here and just do a browse. It's going to show all the other computers that are on this network, and there's mine. That's the host. So I'm going to choose him, and that folder there is the one that's been shared. That's the auction folder, and I'm just going to choose OK.
Stop.
And I'm clicking finish. Now remember I mentioned before the user ID on the actual host computer, you would need to actually set that up. We didn't sort of go through it fully last time, but I did create one auction user, and the password is Tacoma in this case. That's what we called it. You can remember it on here, and OK. And now I've mapped the network drive. So on this computer, which is not the host, I can see all of the files in the auction folder on the host computer. So back on the host computer now, I'm going to open up auction. And we're going to go up to File. We're going to open a project, or I'm just going to use recently opened, this one here. This is our project. There it is. So over on the right hand side we have all the items, on the left hand side we have all of the people. I'm going to make sure that it's shared, because it has to be shared for other people, other computers to see it. And yes, it is currently set to shared. So now let's go over to this client computer, open up auction over here. Go to File, Open Project, and instead of going to C drive, we're going to go to Y drive. That was the one we just mapped. And I'm going to choose the project, MCOW Auction, open it, and voila. I can see exactly the same thing, and two operators can now use this. And you'll just use the same process on any other client laptops, probably two more of them.